Hey guys, it is Nick here with another Nick's topic video, and today we are getting into the first of Lord of the Rings topic. Yes, I have done The Walking Dead and Marvel. Now I'm doing Lord of the Rings, mainly because I saw it as another popular series. I go for the popular, good series to get a good amount of views and attention, but Marvel didn't seem to get as much as The Walking Dead. But anyway, the first topic for today's Lord of the Rings is basically the beginning of the Lord of the Rings mantra, and after Isildur strikes Sauron. And the what if regards, what if he actually did destroy the ring? Now a lot would change here, mainly because this was the beginning, what started the Lord of the Rings in its entirety. Even before the Hobbit movies were released later in time to basically explore that side of the story, the Hobbit movies and Lord of the Ring movies wouldn't happen, at all. Smaug would still be a problem, but nothing really else would happen. But anyways, before I dive too much into, that, let's set the scene. Now, we open up right after Isildur strikes Sauron with his broken blade, after his father was killed by the monster, and him and Elrond go into Mount Doom to destroy the ring. But this time, the ring doesn't have the grasp that it did on him in the original, and he destroys the ring in Mount Doom. Now Sauron wouldn't even have time to come back, because his essence hadn't been set on Barad-dûr since he was literally just killed in his mortal form. So even if it was, he would die. The Nazgûl would all die. All the orcs and the goblins would die. And Barad-dûr, even though it doesn't have Sauron's essence in it, that would collapse. And Mount Doom would erupt just like it did in basically everything that happened in the original, at the end of the Lord of the Rings, basically. Here's a problem. This time, there's no eagles around at this point in the story. It's so early, the eagles aren't a thing yet. So, sadly, Elrond would die, as would Isildur. So, losing Elrond, that's very important. But losing Isildur, that's also important too. Because now, who will be his heir? Anyway, a bunch of manpower would also be lost. Basically, every single man would be lost since they were so close. And that would be a result in a lot of casualties. Sindar would also pass, and Isildur's blade, the remains of it, would sadly be lost in the ensuing chaos, which means whoever the next heir for Isildur's bloodline is will not have his legendary weapon. So it'll be harder to, if it happens at all, to find a new heir. Also, the rings of Narya and Vilya would also be lost. So we are getting a lot of lost items here, and just a lot of lost people. But it's not all bad. We move on to the kingdoms. Now, in the kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor, they prosper and actually live. But they are both greatly, I mean greatly, diminished in manpower because of the losses at Barad-dûr, especially with Isildur gone. In another part of the world of Lord of the Rings, the Sindar and the Eldar, the elves, basically like Galadriel's people, they go on to the Undying Lands after hearing about the threat of Sauron no longer being a thing, and also Elrond passing. But there is one who stayed. Galadriel. She stays behind as the sole leader of the Eldar. And, yeah, basically, she would be almost the last one left to lead whoever is there into a faithful and peaceful life. Now, what would happen after this? Would anything still happen? Well, Smaug would still be a thing, but there would be no Gollum. There would be no Bilbo getting the ring. So, if Bilbo was to go, it would be so much easier. Probably even more manpower. And more dwarves, possibly. Or it's just the same adventure, just without the ring. And Smaug would be the only problem. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this What If. I know it's like somewhat short for this first one, but then again, that's how the Marvel one was. And I'd say it was at least a decent look into the early stages of The Lord of the Rings. Basically, if Isildur hadn't destroyed, or he did destroy the ring, we already know what happened when he didn't. If he did destroy the ring, it would change the Lord of the Rings in its entirety. Probably one of the biggest affecting Lord of the Rings yet. But, well, mainly because it's my first Lord of the Rings What If, but just a very big affecting What If. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed. What do you think could have happened? Had Isildur actually thrown in the ring and destroyed it? I hope you guys enjoyed my first look into the Lord of the Rings topics. Hope you guys enjoy them more than Marvel or as much as The Walking Dead. I'll see you guys next time.